Welcome back to Legends with Derka, where today we have a little friendly competition in two American legendary cruisers, myself in the Worcester and Aaron in the Des Moines. Let's see, in the course of this game, who can rack up the most damage and, more importantly, the most XP. Place your bets now. Without further ado, let's jump right in. For starters, we can talk about the ship's setup. In the Worcester, we are using Aiming Systems Prop Concealment Reload module, and the commander is Norman Scott, basically with a double fire setup, all DPM. Inspirations are Mikawa and Swirsky, so she's pretty stealthy. With Worcester, you don't ever really want to be out in the open ocean, directly engaging anyone. It's more of a ship to play from cover, so the great concealment helps us move around the map, get into cover, and of course, stay there. She does have a 32mm bow, but you really shouldn't come to rely on that and try to tank battleships. Alright, so this game was from Aaron's stream this past weekend, and we also had Bravo Foxtrot in our division as well, and I'll link the stream below if you'd like to go watch it. It was pretty hilarious with lots of people getting roasted, including Aaron, Peak, myself, Bravo. So if you're in need of a good laugh, go check it out. It gets progressively worse as the stream goes on. So with Worcester, one of the questions I think right now a lot of us are asking is, did Worcester get overbuffed? Back in, I think it was February. Let's look and see here. Yes, the February update, Worcester got her buff. And I mean, in the buff, we can look at this list. The reload was brought down to 4.6. The fire chance was increased, shell penetration was increased, so now she could pin 29mm of armor. She got a smaller turning circle, a 2-minute radar reload, and to top it all off, a buff to the shell grouping. So, I mean, they did some serious work on Worcester, and she is very, very, very strong right now. Don't get me wrong, I think she needed a buff. After Minotaur came out in December, and also finally getting to get our hands on the ultra-agile Colbert, Worcester was the most lackluster cruiser at the tier, easily. I mean, Alaska and Stalingrad were also incredibly good, so Worcester was just meh. But now after the buff, you might be wondering, was it a little bit too much? Her DPM comes in third place. She is still behind the Minotaur and the Colbert, and she'll be behind the Smolensk as well when we finally get that ship in the game. But couple that DPM with the fire chance, and you can put up some pretty great damage numbers in this game, like we're gonna showcase. Overall, she has the strongest HP pool of the other light cruisers, and that will probably be the same for the Smolensk as well. I think it has a very small HP pool on the PC, down in the 30,000s. Worcester has some of the best AA in the game. Overall, I think she's very comparable in performance to Minnow and Colbert, and is quite a lot of fun to play. Let's see what's going on in this game right now. With the Des Moines and Worcester, finding the nearest island cover is the first thing you want to do to take shelter from all the big battleship guns. There are a couple Iowas over there and a Yamato, and some Alaskas that could be very, very dangerous to us. Now, there was an enemy Somers, or still is actually, in the middle of the map, and it's really our job to radar and try to kill him, but it's just not possible right now at the moment. I have learned the hard way a couple times that just because you have radar and a job to do and killing destroyers doesn't mean you need to get yourself killed in order to do it. And both of these ships require just a bit of patience. If you rush out, you will die. Battleship AP can ruin your day, and getting spammed by HE can break a lot of your anti-aircraft guns and take away one of the best features of this ship, the good AA. Aaron and I have settled in over here, and we're just going to start dealing as much damage as possible to these big battleships and pick off the more brave members of the team, like that Shapayev. I do not know why he found himself directly in the center of the epicenter, but I think that might have been a bit of a mistake. Now, the thing about these American support cruisers is that without good spotting, you can be in a world of hurt and not have a very fun time. And so, of course, we're very happy to have Bravo Foxtrot, the super duper Unicum tryhard, Chad, and his Kaga spotting for us. The last time I made a video about Worcester, it was January 2021, and at the very beginning of that video, I highlighted how not getting spotting can be very tragic for that ship. That video still makes me laugh, although the quality isn't as good back then. That was my early days. I think that video was about the 20th one I had ever made, so maybe not the best quality, but it's still pretty good for a chuckle. So if you're looking for a, a less serious talk about the Worcester and just kind of a silly screwing around way, go check it out. The game is currently almost tied. They have the ship lead right now and the points lead, but it's still close, very, very close. Now, since the battleships are pushing around that side of the map, it's allowing us to move up these islands, this chain of islands, to get a little bit closer and possibly radar the Sommers, or shoot the enemy aircraft carrier. The enemy CV has been smart this game to not come over here and try to attack us. The Des Moines really has fantastic AA as well, and it would have been pretty easy to deplane this guy. Now, if you're watching me here, of course I am switching targets often to try to continue to set fires on the different ships. If they damage con, we're letting Bravo know so that maybe he could come in and get a strike off and cause a permanent flood or fire. The bad thing for Bravo is that Iowa has some very intense AA, and those guys are so close to each other that it's basically a no-fly zone. The Kaga squadrons have some of the lowest health pools for their planes. They get shot down really, really fast. Now, earlier you might have heard me mention that HE shells can bust anti-aircraft guns. And that's what these little symbols are that are popping up on the Iowa, the Yamato, as we hit them. It is disabling anti-aircraft guns. This would help our CV planes just live a little bit longer. So if it's a carrier match, never underestimate the power of HE spamming ships. They can strip your ship of anti-aircraft guns and make you more vulnerable to air attack. Now, I think about this time, it would be a good time for us to start pushing up, maybe more towards the center of the map. I see why the Iowas probably stayed close to each other. They had AA bubbles to protect each other from the Kaga, and they also maybe had will to rebuild going, but when you stay so close to a friendly battleship, it makes it really easy to counter. You're not setting up good crossfire opportunities, and cruisers like myself and Aaron can just simply keep an island in between us. Whereas if they would have positioned in different parts of the map, it would have been a lot more effective on their part. One of the Iowas should have definitely went to the southeast part of the map. That would have pinched us, made life really hard on us. So since the Sommers took the center of the map early on, the Reds are getting a pretty good points lead, and so we're going to probably need to kill all of the enemy ships or start getting some capture points of our own. Always keep an eye on that in epicenter. You just don't want them to get too much of a lead. We are currently passing 150k. It's really not a ton for Worcester, as wowsbuilds.com has it. The record is well over 300,000, so this ship is really capable of some mass destruction. Our fires, we're at 14, and a Witherer is a testament to how I am mainly getting my damage, and it is the reason I do not use IFHE. That is going to cut your fire chance by 50%, so I would much rather keep my fire chance high, set lots of fires, switch targets, blah blah blah. Now, I do almost feel a little bit bad about sitting here and farming these battleship players, but again, as a battleship player, you can fight this. There are ways to play that doesn't leave you so susceptible to getting HE spammed. If you ever watch a more experienced battleship player, they play more of in a flowing manner, sailing in, sailing out, moving around, always trying to position for crossfire shots, and so on and so forth. Just creeping up, bow in, makes it really easy for someone to get a bead on you and repeatedly click RT. overall, I think I like the Des Moines a little bit better than the Worcester. It's just so much fun to have those 203mm guns that fire pretty much at the exact same rate that these 152s do on the Worcester. I think I am going to be curious to see how Legendary tier changes as more people get their hands on DM, and to see what it does. Well, we have the Pobeda spotted, the last ship on the red team. And so hopefully with a couple shots here, we'll get him out of the match, and we can take a look at the scoreboard and see who did it better. If you guys somehow don't know who he is, Where Are You Aaron is a fellow North American community contributor, so go check his channel out. I'll link it in the description below, along with the stream that this video is from. If you guys need a laugh, yep, go check it out. So 160k, and for the first time, I don't think I've ever seen this before, we have the same exact base XP. But Legends did put my name at the top of the board because clearly I am the better CC. With that, guys, be sure to smash the thumbs up button. Go check out Bravo and Aaron's channels. Subscribe to my channel for future content. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.